All right, ready for a deep dive?
Always.
Today we're looking at accounting, but with a bit of a
The
twist.
twist, huh?
AI. Specifically, how ChatGPT is changing the accounting world.
Oh, that's interesting. And robots are taking over way?
No. More like giving accountants superpowers.
I like that.
So we're using this article, ChatGPT na contabilidad o truque oculto para reducir errores.
Ketty.
It means ChatGPT in accounting, the hidden trick to reducing errors. It was written by a Steves Jr. and published pretty recently, February 19th, 2025.
Ah, so it's really up to date.
Exactly. And it gets into how AI can help with some of the biggest challenges that accountants face.
Like what?
Well, one of the first things the article mentions is accuracy. Accountants need to be 100% accurate, right?
Absolutely. One tiny error can cause huge problems.
Yeah.
Financial penalties, maybe even legal issues.
Exactly. And that pressure, it can be overwhelming. The article talks about how AI can kind of act as a safety net, catching those errors.
Sort of like a second set of eyes.
Yeah, but better, because AI can process so much information so quickly.
It's like having, I don't know, superhuman accuracy.
Right. And that leads into the next point, which is how ChatGPT can automate all those little time-consuming tasks.
You mean all that manual data entry, sorting receipts, classifying expenses?
All of that. Think about how much time accountants spend doing those things.
Way too much, probably. It's not exactly the exciting part of the job.
No, not at all. But ChatGPT can handle it. The article gives this example. Imagine you have to categorize a ton of bank transactions.
Ugh, I can feel the eye strain already.
Right. But instead of going through them one by one, you just tell ChatGPT, clasifica estas transacciones bancarias conforme o plano de contas empresarial.
Which basically means,
Classify these bank transactions according to a company's chart of accounts.
and boom, it's done.
Exactly. It frees up all that time so accountants can focus on the strategic stuff.
Like analyzing trends, giving advice, building those relationships with clients.
Yeah. It's about moving from just crunching numbers to really understanding what those numbers mean.
And helping clients make better decisions, too.
Right. And that's not the only way AI can help catch errors. The article talks about document review, too.
Like reviewing balance sheets and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine you're trying to cross-reference information from all these different sources.
Yeah, sounds like a nightmare.
It can be, but ChatGPT can do it in a fraction of the time. It can spot any inconsistencies before they become big problems.
That's got to be a huge relief for accountants. No more second-guessing yourself.
Right. And the article gives this great example. Analiza el balanzo patrimonial e identifica posibles inconsistencias nos cálculos.
Okay, what does that mean?
Analyze this balance sheet and identify any inconsistencies in the calculations.
So it's like having, what, a superhuman auditor by your side?
Pretty much. You're not just reducing errors, you're reducing the risk of those audits and penalties.
Which probably helps everyone sleep better at night.
Exactly. And it's not just about automation. The article also talks about how ChatGPT can interpret tax regulations.
Wait, really? Tax codes are incredibly complex. How can AI handle that?
That's what I thought too. But think about it. ChatGPT has access to thousands of legal documents. It can analyze them all and instantly figure out which regulations apply to a specific situation.
It's crazy. It's like having a library of tax law in your pocket.
Right. And then it gets even more interesting. We're not just talking about crunching numbers, but using those numbers to predict the future.
AI fortune-telling.
Kind of. AI-powered financial analysis. We're talking about taking all those financial data points and using them to understand what's coming next.
Moving from hindsight to foresight. I like that.
Me too. The article gives some cool examples. Imagine you say to ChatGPT, Gere relatorio de fluxo de caixa para los próximos 6 meses con base nestes datos.
So,
Generate a cash flow statement for the next 6 months based on this data.
like a financial crystal ball.
Yeah, but instead of magic, it's based on solid data and analysis.
So you're making decisions with a lot more confidence.
Exactly. And the article talks about how you can use it to analyze expenses and look for cost-cutting opportunities, too.
Wow. So you can literally ask it like, analices despesas de esta empresa y sugiera formas de reducir costos operacionais.
You got it. Analyze this company's expenses and suggest ways to reduce operating costs.
It's like having an AI CFO in your pocket, always looking for ways to save money.
I know, right? Pretty amazing stuff.
It is. It really is.
It's like AI can not only look back at our finances, but also give us a glimpse into the future.
Exactly. It's all about working smarter, not harder.
And that brings us to something else really cool that the article talks about.
Oh.
It's using ChatGPT to actually improve how you communicate with clients.
Mm, that's a good point. Because at the end of the day, accounting is about people.
It's not just numbers on a screen.
Right. And AI can help explain those numbers in a way that everyone understands.
Exactly. Like, have you ever had to explain a tax thing to a client and it's so complicated?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
You almost need a law degree just to understand it.
Right.
But imagine if you could just have ChatGPT give you a clear explanation that anyone could understand.
That would be amazing.
The article gives this example. You ask ChatGPT, explique de forma simples o que é o regime de lucro presumido e suas vantagens.
Hold on. I need my Portuguese translator. What's that mean again?
It means explain in a simple way what the presumed profit regime is and its advantages.
Ah, okay. So like breaking it down into plain English.
Yeah, exactly. And then when clients understand their finances better, they feel more confident.
Absolutely. And it builds trust too.
They know you've got their best interests at heart.
And it's not just about explaining things either.
What do you mean?
Well, the article mentions that you can use ChatGPT to create personalized client communications too.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just about explaining complex stuff, but also automating those regular messages.
Right, like reminders and updates.
So you could tell it, email informando aos clientes sobre o prazo final para entrega da declaração do imposto de renda.
Okay, help me out with that one again.
Create an email informing clients about the deadline for filing income tax returns.
So you're basically getting ChatGPT to be your personal assistant.
Pretty much. And think about it, that frees you up to focus on the stuff that really matters.
The human side of accounting.
Building relationships, giving strategic advice, making sure your clients feel heard.
Exactly. It's like AI is taking care of all the busy work so you can be more human.
I love that. It's like all those pain points that accountants have been dealing with for years.
Long hours, tons of paperwork, the pressure to be perfect.
It seems like AI is addressing all of that.
It really does. The article really makes you think, more efficiency, fewer errors, better financial analysis, and stronger relationships with clients.
It's like a whole new world of accounting.
It is. And it makes you wonder how this will change the whole industry, how accounting firms will adapt and compete.
That's a really interesting question.
Yeah, because the firms that embrace these AI tools,
they're going to have a huge advantage, right?
Absolutely. They'll be able to work faster, provide better insights, and build stronger relationships with their clients.
It's like they always say, adapt or die.
Right. And the article finishes by saying that AI is the next step for modern accounting.
It's not a question of if, but when.
Exactly. And that might seem overwhelming to some accountants.
Like, oh no, the robots are coming for my job.
Right, but that's not the point at all. My advice would be embrace it.
Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah, view it as an opportunity, not a threat.
Like, take some time to learn about these AI tools and see how they can actually help you do your job better.
Exactly. The future of accounting belongs to the people who are willing to adapt.
And this article was in Portuguese.
That's right. I almost forgot.
Which just shows you that this AI revolution is happening all over the world.
It's a global phenomenon.
And AI can actually help us keep up with all these changes. Well, it can translate documents, connect us with experts from other countries, give us access to so much knowledge.
So it's like this global network of information and collaboration powered by AI.
Exactly. It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is.
But before we get carried away, I want to bring it back to our listeners for a minute.
Good idea.
What's the key takeaway from all of this? What should they be thinking about as they navigate this crazy AI-powered world?
Well, I think the most important thing is to remember that AI is a tool.
It's not here to replace humans.
Right. It's here to help us.
To augment our abilities, make us better at what we do.
And the future of accounting, like so many other fields, it's all about combining technology with human skills.
It's not about fearing the robots.
It's about learning to work with them.
To dance with them.
I like that. Maybe that's the best way to wrap up our deep dive today. The future belongs to those who are willing to adapt and try new things.
And to embrace the possibilities.
Okay.
And on that note, we'll let you ponder all those possibilities.
Till next time.
Happy diving. It feels like we're at this turning point for accountants.
Yeah, AI is really changing the game.
And in a good way.
Definitely. It's not just making things easier, it's opening up all these new opportunities too.
Like what?
Well, imagine being able to give your clients really specific, proactive advice.
Based on like real-time data.
Exactly. That's something we could never really do before.
It's like taking all that number crunching and actually turning it into something useful.
Something that can help businesses grow and thrive.
I love that. And speaking of helpful resources, I noticed the article actually links to a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too.
They've got links to articles, websites, even some research papers.
A real treasure trove of information.
It's a rabbit hole, for sure.
If you're really interested in AI and accounting, it's worth checking out.
We'll make sure to include all those links in the show notes.
Definitely.
And it really does feel like we've just scratched the surface here.
Oh,
There
absolutely.
is so much more to explore.
And that's the whole point, isn't it? To get people thinking, to spark their curiosity.
Exactly. So, as we wrap things up today, I want to ask you, what does all this mean for our listeners?
That's a good question.
Whether they're accountants themselves, or business owners, or just people who are interested in the future of work.
What should they be doing to prepare for this AI-powered world?
Yeah, what's the one thing they should take away from our deep dive?
I think the most important thing is to stay curious.
To keep learning.
Exactly. The technology is changing so fast.
It's hard to keep up sometimes.
It is, but that's why it's important to always be learning, always be experimenting.
It's almost like AI is its own kind of literacy now.
You know, like how we all had to learn to use computers and the internet.
Now we have to learn to work with AI.
Right, to understand its strengths and limitations.
To see it as a partner, not a threat.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, there are so many resources out there to help us do that.
Online courses, workshops, communities.
There's a whole world of support out there for people who want to learn about AI.
So it's really not as daunting as it might seem at first.
Not at all. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from today's deep dive.
What's that?
The future of work isn't about humans versus machines.
It's about humans and machines working together.
To create something even better than we could on our own.
I like that. It's a collaboration.
Exactly. And that's a really exciting thing to be a part of.
It is. So as you go out into the world today,
Or tonight, or whenever you're listening to this.
remember to stay curious, keep learning, and don't be afraid to experiment.
Because who knows, maybe you'll be the one who develops the next big AI breakthrough.
The one that changes the accounting world forever.
The possibilities are endless.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder those possibilities.
Happy diving, everyone!
See you next time.